red lentil soup that we made the other night at our house, and it's a colorful, delicious soup. So
it was very tasty.
reviewing our ingredients, we have just a little bit of olive oil or canola oil and one large onion. And our carrots, it's about a cup of carrots, about 2 regular carrots, and then 1 stalk of celery, half a cup of chopped tomatoes, and then we've got some garlic that we'll be adding in, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic, some salt and cumin, and red lentils. So let's get started. We're going to fire up the burner here. And we'll add our oil, get it warmed up. And the first step is to saute the onions.
And this was basically 1 large onion. You can use red onions or yellow onions. This happens to be a white onion. And these, you want to saute these until they're just starting to soften and have a little bit of brown color on them. And this recipe makes about 1 cup servings of soup, which is the recommended amount that you should eat when you're serving soup. So whether you have guests over or if you're making this ahead of time, say on a weekend, you could divide it up and save it for a later date. You could leave it in the refrigerator for a day or 2. But if you know you're not going to be able to eat it within those couple days, it's a good idea to freeze it. And this soup freezes very well so that you can have it as a quick lunch on another day.
Okay, let's go ahead and add the next ingredients. We have 3 cloves of garlic. That's about 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic.
And this was pre-chopped garlic, and you can buy this in a jar. It makes it very easy, and you don't have to buy the cloves of garlic.
And then we'll add the carrots. Again, that's 2 carrots chopped, or about 1 cup.
And that would be like 2 large carrots. You could also use the small mini carrots. As long as you measure about 1 cup is what you want.
And a stalk of celery.
And this is equivalent to about 1/4 to 1/3 cup of chopped celery.
And we'll add our seasonings too in a moment. We've got our cumin, 1 1/4 teaspoon of cumin.
And this is ground cumin. And this type of seasoning is used a lot in Mexican dishes. It's got a real good kick to it. And adds a lot of flavor to this soup.
Smell it already. And some salt, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then our tomatoes, 1/2 cup of chopped tomatoes.
And these are fresh plum tomatoes that we chopped up. And this is equivalent to about 1.5 plum tomatoes. And you can also use canned tomatoes in this. You could add more flavor to this soup by using fire roasted tomatoes, or even Italian seasoned chopped tomatoes. There's a lot of variety of canned tomatoes out there, which you can be more creative with.
That's right. And good time of when you're growing your own fresh produce and have your garden to use some of your garden vegetables too.
Absolutely. There's nothing better than fresh tomatoes.
Okay, we're just gonna get this all warmed up, and then we'll add 4 cups of water. And our chicken broth, that's 1.5 cups of low sodium chicken broth. And then we have our red lentils that we're going to add. And that's 1 cup of dried red lentils.
And one thing we should do with these lentils first is rinse them. And just simply give them a brush of water in a colander, and that will remove any residual dirt that might be on them.
All right, we're going to let this cook for about 20 minutes. And our other last seasoning that we'll add is the parsley. You can add that just at the very end before you're ready to serve the soup. after it's all cooked. Looks yummy. It is yummy.
It's very yummy. And then you can serve this with some whole grain crackers or some whole grain baguette type bread, some crusty type bread to add a little crunch to this. And then after you've got it in the bowl, you can always sprinkle it with just a little bit of chopped parsley as a garnish.
These recipes and more are available on the Watt Kansas website. That's www.wattkansas.org, or you can contact your local extension office.